stream the meeting.
Okay, and let's see if Alan is in the waiting room.
All right. I'm just gonna click OK to say this meeting is being live streamed.
Okay.
And I don't see anybody in the waiting room yet.
Okay, if I could just stay over there with Zoom.
Okay, you're still in Zoom now.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
and I'm in the screen right there.
You're in the screen with just your video showing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'll go ahead and I'll log myself out of your team viewer now.
All right.
All right. Have a great day, Johnny.
All right. You too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Innervision FM. This is this is Johnnie J. Here on Innervision FM. We're waiting for Alan. He may or may not show up today. This second day of the
messages. Now, Mitchell Fox. Happy New Year, Johnny.
Mitchell Fox. Oh yeah, okay.
Messages. Now, Mitchell Fox. How's your family?
Okay. Yes. I shall contact him a little bit later. Oh, let me read my text.
Michael sent new messages. Happy New Year, Johnny. And how's your family? Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
My family is very good. Hope your family is good. I'm just doing my Zoom show right now and hope all is well with you in the new year.
Your reply to Michael says, my family's very good. Hope your family is good. I'm just doing my Zoom show right now and hope all is well with you in the new year. Ready to send it?
Send.
Okay, it's sent. That's all your messages.
All right, all right. There's my messages. Let's see if Alan is there. And he is not there. Well, anyway, we're going to talk a little bit of history. We're celebrating, I guess, well, in the blind community, we're celebrating the history of Louis E. Braille. Now, if you're sighted, you probably never heard of Louis E. Braille, and if you have, I'm impressed because Louis E. Braille was a gentleman who he developed something called Braille, and this Braille, which are like bumps on a page. Let's see. Should I show you my book with Braille on it? Let's see. Let's see if I can pull this up. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. Okay, let's see. Keep my headphone in there so I can. Let's see. Oh, okay, I want to show you this. It's a little bit of Braille. Okay. And this is what is known as Braille. You can see it there. And that's this is what I read. And only 10% of us who are blind are able to read Braille, which is kind of interesting that if that much of the population was illiterate, 90% of our population was literate, could you imagine where our country would be? But in the Black community, there is only 70% of us, 10% of us who read Braille, and we have an unemployment rate of 70%. Now, I can't say it's all because we have that low percentage rate of Braille readers because we do have the talking computers. We have many governmental agencies that have been started to quote unquote help the blind, vocation, traveling. Got a division for, let's see, what does this say now? Let me read this text for a second, okay? Read my text.
Alan sent a new message. Won't make it this evening. Try tomorrow. Sorry about the early warning. LOL. Would you like to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
Don't worry about it. We're just doing a little history lesson about Louis E. Braille and other things of that sort.
Your reply to Alan says, don't worry about it. We're just doing a little history lesson about Louis Braille and other things of that sort. Ready to send it?
Send. All right.
Okay,
So
it's sent. That's
and
everything.
we got a new subscriber, so please hit the thumb up. And we're also looking for like different topics. We got this guy named Wolf who just joined us. He was I don't know if he's hunting wolves or what. Or what? Let's see. Adventures with Wolf Dogs, one of our new subscribers. So we'd like to welcome you here. So that's kind of interesting that we had that kind of person there. So anyway, so Louis E. Braille. Let's get back into Louis E. Braille. So he developed this, and let me find out. I asked Sarah here. What year was Louis E. Braille born?
Louis Braille was born January 4th, 1809.
January 4th, 1809. So today, many years ago, 1804, in January, that's when he was born, and a very historical guy.
January 4th, 1809. Louis Braille bullet date of birth. Wikipedia. Knowledge. Heading. Knowledge. Head.
That's pretty cool.
Listen. Button. Listen. Button.
Okay, so he's a guy, very important guy who developed a way for us blind people to be literate. Now, what else happened January 4th, not June 4th, January 4th? LBJ, or LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, did this supposedly great speech about the Great Society. Now, I have to give you a history about him. He was from the South, and John F. Kennedy needed him to bring in the Southern vote, which he did his job. But John Kennedy was no big fan of Black people or any of the stuff. And some people like Dr. Boyce, Watkins said that the downfall of the Black community was when we started to integrate, because we lost, our Black doctors, lawyers, Black-owned companies that we depended on each other to support each other financially. And so when you their theory is when they had integration, many of these people left the community, and then what was left was the ones that really had no one to look up to and see that this person or that person is doing well. And I don't know. I don't know if we need that. We needed that to advance. Um, I had to think about that uh, as a Black American because I lived in a neighborhood that was kind of a mixed neighborhood, and it wasn't. My parents were the one who really directed me to go for it. And getting back to this LBJ and his speech about the Great Society, he was the one who started like this big push for women, especially minority women, to forget that husband, forget that man. If he ran out on you, the government will be your daddy. And it took a few generations, but now, where it used to be in 1964, where they were 75% husband and wife families in the Black community, and only 25%. And in the white community, I think it was only 10% of women that didn't have husbands and had children at a wedlock. Because back in the day, it wasn't seen as a badge of honor or something that women say, well, I'll get more money if I have more babies by this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, right? And guys weren't incentivized to not take care of the children because there was a dad there in the house. And for whatever reason, now we have this majority of women who are trying to be mother and father. Well, it started back with the LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, with this Great Society, and step by step, it chipped away at the Black Family Unit, where that 70% is there. And I think in the Hispanic community is about 40%. Don't quote me on that one, but I think it's about 40%. Let's see. Let's see if Google will tell the truth. Google, in the Hispanic community, what is the percentage of single parent household?
Okay, I found this on the web. For the Hispanic community, what is the percentage of single parent household? Check it out. Water. Show Google results. Hispanic/Latino families. Demographic and social indices. In 1999, 20.2%, 1 in 5 of Hispanic families lived below the poverty. Ellipsis. However, the income levels dropped dramatically for single parent families. Ellipsis. Family.drag.org.
Okay, that's interesting.
Children in single parent families by race. Vertical line kids count data center. Best source for child and family well-being indicators in the United States. National, state, county, congressional district, and city data. Datacenter.kidscount.org.
Let's check that one out
Number
too.
of Hispanic families with a single mother. U.S. 199020020.
Okay.
October 5th, 2021. Ellipsis. In 2020, about 3.4 million Hispanic families with a single mother were living in the United States. This is an increase from 1990. Ellipsis. Statista.com.
Okay, interesting. Okay, all right, all right. I didn't exactly answer the question, but you get the idea. Yes, it's a lot, but not as much as in the Black community. And so we Black women bit uh, the worm with the hook on it, and they started putting out the man, saying, "I'm a woman. I'm woman, standing strong," something like that. Yeah, what's that song? I forget the lady who sung the song. But anyway, she's dead and gone anyway. Back in the 70s. So anyway, so you have these this Black women that are raising up these Black boys, and you're seeing all this gun activity. And why is it you have to think like this? Why can't a single mother raise a majority of boys that will not go the criminal route? why is it that they can't raise the majority of the boys to um, not do drugs or not to be a criminal or things of this sort? And why is it that when you have the man in the house, that this shenanigan, there's that boys will be boys, and there will be some boys that will go that criminal route, but it wasn't rampant like it is now with the rampant killing of each other. Because I thought, like, the man and woman balance out the house. The guy says the no thrills, no. And this is why, because it's stupid, don't do this. Then the woman says, brings in the compassion and help, soften up the edges and stuff like that. But why is it when it's just the unit of just one woman? And that's a question I want to ask you. And give us a thumb up, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our show here. Why is that when household is ran by majority of women, like 75% women, are, and especially in the black poor neighborhood, all these criminals are being brought up. But then we can switch over and say, like, the mass shootings are mostly by white kids in these other schools, but yet there's something going wrong with that family unit as well, even though they may or may not have like a father and mother in there. And maybe it's mental, it's causing a lot of mental anguish that's not being addressed in the Black community and in these other communities where these kids are going and shooting up the schools. Maybe that is not being addressed with the mental state. And you could see, if you're paying attention as a parent, you probably see things are not right in the head of this child. But as a Black mother trying to raise kids by herself, she's probably working 2 jobs, or she's receiving welfare, or she's on drugs and receiving welfare. But any one of those scenarios is not good because you don't have someone to partner with you. And now women who are single women with children, how's that working for you? Is what LBJ, which I believe he wanted to destroy the family. He wanted to see the downfall of the Black family, and it was a very effective way to do it by saying the government will be your daddy, and whenever the government steps in, that is the most terrifying thing you could hear from the government, saying, "We want to help." And President Reagan said that in one of his speeches. So you might go back and check over some of his speeches on YouTube, where he says that the most terrifying words to hear is when the government says, "We want to help." Right? And now they say that the government is the biggest hiring of people, and so their government is competing with the I guess the population that part of that. And so when the government closed down businesses, mostly small businesses, and here in Denver, it didn't come back to, how can I say it? 40% of the small businesses are gone forever. The government was still paying. They gave people furloughs and not furloughs. People, the government had jobs to come back to, or they were paying them to do their work at home. And if you're a small company, a restaurant or something like that, you can afford to do something like that. So okay, so that's sort of like that almost like the history of that great and I spend a lot of time on that because I see that a lot of destruction in the Black community because of one, LBJ, and then two, the and I don't want to say like, okay, we should segregate again and all that kind of stuff, but I do want to say that maybe we should have got economic freedom before we got integration freedom. And it's like, what good is it that Martin Luther King said this in one of his speeches? What good is it that you can now sit by your white counterpart at a restaurant and eat a hamburger with them, but you cannot afford the hamburger, right? So I think we as a people, Black people, whatever, should work at work getting their the economics and understanding the economics. And like in my family, I would just say that my parents showed me by example, but no one really sat down with me and said, Johnny, okay, live within your means. Don't have bill collectors calling you all the time looking for you to pay them, pay them, and then get them out of the way. And then they also said to me, and I try to pass this on to my daughters, that if you owe your family money, pay them. Pay them first. You borrow money from your family, and I don't know if some of you have family members that say, "Hey man, can I borrow some money from you? I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back." And then they're all they're calling you every day, and they're loving on you and stuff like that. And then when you give them the money, they disappear. And then when they're supposed to pay you back, they're not there, right? And fortunately, I never had that happen to me within my family. Like people saying they want to borrow money and not pay it back. But I know there must be some families out there that experiences that, right? So that's kind of a crazy thing to I thought I had it. I thought I had the story, but now it's not. Okay, my history, my notes for history.
6:20 p.m. One notification.
Well, okay. Well, it's not telling me. Okay, and then I do know, like in 1959, June 4th, June 3rd of 1959, it's a good year for me. Hawaii was brought into being the state, being one of our states, which that's pretty cool. I hate this, that I had the information. I had the information, and now it's no longer there. Oh, okay. So that LBJ speech was in 1965, but it's not going to tell me the rest of it. Well, so be it. That little history lesson is over. Hey, this is going to be a short show because my notes are not open. I probably should have copied it and put it somewhere else. So you got two things. You got the LBJ, and you got the history about the Hawaii thing, and also the little history tidbit about Louis E. Braille. And, I, for one, I'm happy because I practice my Braille. I try to practice it every day. Well, let me get a little history about that too. When I was going to school, because the doctors had given me the medicine that's destroyed my eyes and almost killed me back when I was 6 years old, and my parents kept thinking and kept saying to me, if they mess you up, doctors can fix you up. And we soon learned that doctors cannot fix you up. Sometimes it's easier to mess you up than for them to fix you up, right? So what had happened was teachers would come in and try to teach me Braille, but I would learn it and then I would forget it because my parents said, hey, doctors can mess you up. They could, the blind faith, right? That I believe that doctors could fix what they had messed up. And this medicine burnt me from the inside out, and I was one of the 30% to live after it caused what is called Steven Johnson syndrome. That's Steven Johnson syndrome. You might look that up and see what that is. I mean, it really does a job with you, on you. So when I got into high school, and I would put books real close to my face, and it was really difficult for me to read. And my teacher would, she was dedicated in grade school. She would go home at night, and on her own time, she would write on big, huge paper like letters so I could read the next day. So she would just, and so during reading time, I could read with the rest of the class, and comfortable, right? So then I got a junior high at high school and had readers and things of the sort, so I could hear something and remember what was read and got pretty good grades in that. So when I got to be about 18, 19, I started thinking like, well, maybe they can fix me up because I've had all these operations, probably like 21 in all operations. Oh, and at that time, I only had, let's see, every summer, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 7 operations by then, and then I stopped because I ended up losing one of my eyes because of these experimental operations. So I said, hey, I got to step back from this. So I had 17 operations, 7 operations by then. And then I met a guy that he gave me a cornea transplant without destroying my eyes. And that was probably the 8th, 9th. So by that time, I said, well, let me start learning Braille. So I was living in California at the time, so I started taking the bus, and it was long, like 90-minute rides, right? So I would take a book and find a interesting person to read about, and I would start reading about that person. Elton John was one. I read about his biography. I read Stevie Wonder's biography. I read Ray Charles, a little bit of his biography. Because I would read about like musicians, because I was very much interested in musicians and artists and stuff like that, because I was in the radio business. So that's when I started reading Braille when I was about 18 or 19, taking it seriously. I had a lady that would go visit, and she lived in Brooks Tower, and she had this like New York accent, and she's on the 13th or 15th. She's way up there, and I go to her, and she would teach me the Braille, and then when I moved up to LA, I just continued on with it. So Louis E. Braille. So I want that to stick in your mind. Leave some comments in the comment section down there. And we really thank you for joining us here on Innervision FM. I want you to join us tomorrow, and go to paypal.me/InnervisionDenver. That's paypal.me/InnervisionDenver, or email us at info@InnervisionFM, info@InnervisionFM, and do subscribe. What can I say? That's it for our show. Oh, let me get. Okay, let me get back. Okay.